NAB Challenge continues in the northern New South Wales coastal town of Coffs Harbour tonight with the Sydney Swans taking on the Brisbane Lions. Both sides have much to look forward to in 2015. The Swans looking to avenge the horror loss of the grand final last year, and Brisbane, well, they're hoping to begin a sustained charge up the ladder with Justin Leppich in his second year as coach. As the Lions come onto the ground, let's welcome former Lions superstar in Alistair Lynch and Hawk champ Ben Dixon. Boys, you couldn't ask for better weather.
No, the Actron weather here is magnificent. It's certainly on beach weather during the day, but overnight it's perfect for AFL footy.
And Tommy Rockcliffe had a bit of a spring in his step, Jared. Captain, he's wanted this opportunity for about 3 years now, so he's got his chance, and hopefully it's a good one tonight.
No surprising that he was named captain. I think everybody has seen him as a natural leader, takes over from Jed Adcock, and I think he actually is going to fulfil that role magnificently.
It's been an amazing story. He started on the rookie list and came through the ranks onto the main list, played some enormous football, especially last year where he was named All-Australian for the first time. His last 8 weeks he averaged 40 possessions, including late in the season 47 against the Gold Coast Suns.
Let's hope the physio keeps away from him for most of the season. Right. Let's take a look at the squad. Both sides are missing a few players, but let's focus on who's in.
Yeah, some good news to see some injured players back. Staker didn't play a game last year, so he's back into the side. Leuenberger was injured in round 5 last year against Port Adelaide with an ACL. Played round 23, but looks very fit with a good pre-season behind him. And then Daniel Rich was outstanding with 20 disposals against the Saints last week. He too returns after a round 4 ACL. So, and some youngsters. See Jaden McGrath from Karangan Country, Victoria. He'll be the sub tonight. And Liam Dawson, he's the Academy priority list who's come in for his first game tonight.
Well, Lions coach Justin Leppich is in his second year. He caught up with our own Ben Dixon just a few moments ago.
Justin, much talked about the forward line, but your ruck is pretty important. Martin, Leuenberger, are you going to persist with, obviously, that combination this year? They've only played the 5 games together, but that combination this year.
Well, we will. Tonight we'll probably, I guess we'll see how well they'll do forward of the ball as well. So that's going to be the interesting part, whether one can also play those minutes forward.
Dane Beams, we saw the class of him last week, but in terms of the impact he's made at the club, just give us a little bit of an insight.
He's terrific. He's cool, calm, collected. He's going to bring a whole new level of composure to our young group. So we're excited. He's been a terrific leader, and look, and he's already started off with a good game last week. So 1 from 1.
Good luck, Lapper.
Thanks to go.
Noel and Christian tonight, boom recruit, but they have picked up a lot of midfield talent, ball-getting talent.
Yeah, and that's where the Brisbane Lions in October focused on the trade table rather than the draft. So you see the wealth of experience with Beams, Christensen, both premiership players. Mitch Robinson, 100 games in 6 years with Carlton as well. And Josh Clayton, great to see the son of Scott Clayton, former Fitzroy great, in the side as well. And as we said, Liam Dawson's there.
Yeah, and you got Dawson, Andrews, Watts, McGrath, McGuinness. I mean, there's a lot of defenders in that lot. But you looked at those first arrivals, experience, inside ball is exactly what the Lions need.
A couple of big names also leaving the club, but most notably the superstar captain Jonathan Brown, who's going to find himself on the couch this year.
Yeah, he'll do a great job on the couch, and there's a fair chance that he'll play a role still with the Lions in a coaching capacity, just with the young forwards. But that is going to be a gaping hole there in the forward 50 moving over the next couple of years. See Polkinghorne, Rains, Jordan Lyle has been listed as well.
Sydney Swans, of course, are one of the power sides of the competition. Sam Reid, one of the talking points, does he play forward or does he play back? He's named forward in the squad, Ben.
Yeah, centre-half forward, but as you said, Jared, we'd like to see him play back because that's obviously the home and away season where he'll play most of his position. But Nan Curvis, full forward without the Franklin goods like. But you got to like the young talent they've brought into this team because we know Sydney groomed them for a long time. But you see a guy on the wing, Tom Mitchell, I think this is his year. He's got plenty of ball in the kneeful, but now it's his time to opportunity. We'll see it tonight. But more importantly, this young group of talent coming through, the Swans Academy, the first generation, here we go. Because I'll tell you what, we're going to mention Isaac Heaney throughout this call.
One of the big ins, of course, is John Blakey, a former teammate of yours as coach.
Yeah, in the main chair for the second time. Coach once for the Brisbane Lions in 2005, as we see some of the experience going out of the side, Dicko.
Yeah, Ryan O'Keefe, we know didn't play many games last year, but Lewis Roberts-Thompson, Mel Chesky, Biggs. Mel Chesky, the drive and metres off half-back. Who's going to pick up the slack in that? Remember, he was a forward, and obviously Welsh, Lockyer and Dick out of the side off the list. But the most important thing from the Swans is their defence is set up, and they've lost a little bit there, but we'll see some experience through there tonight.
Has anybody had more time in the newspapers that hasn't played the game before than Isaac Heaney?
It's been a massive talking point. Obviously, the structure of the academies is under question because of this man. And it's probably unfair on the Sydney Swans. They've done such a great job over the last few years. And this man, Isaac Heaney, picked up at pick 18, probably at pick 3, pick 4, pick 5. It's a real bonus. But the encouraging thing from a AFL point of view is guys like this are actually playing AFL football and not rugby league. And
he won't look out of place. He's got elite skills. And Jack Hiscock there, you'll see here, as we get into the call, the ground's nice and long, and he's got plenty of run in his legs, as we'll mention.
Both sides got powerful midfield. It should be a fantastic competition. For the odds that count, here's Roger Aldrich from Ladbrokes.
Thanks, Jared. They've been a big mover in the off-season, recruiting experience to an impressive list of youngsters. And now we get our first look at the Lions in the post-Jonathan Brown era. Will he be as tough to replace as, say, Alistair Lynch? Today they take on last season's runners-up, minus the $1 million men up forward in Franklin and Tippett, and a few other handy players like Goods, McVeigh and Richards. It certainly makes for an interesting head-to-head betting matchup. Check out the markets on this match and plenty more at ladbrokes.com.au. And remember, if having a bet, do so responsibly.
Tommy won the toss. Great win last week. Had the review. What's the big focus coming into tonight's game?
Yeah, we probably thought we played a little bit quick last week, so we'll just try and control the footy a little bit more. Sydney obviously love the contest. So it's going to be a hard, contested footy night for us, and hopefully we can get on top in that area.
Good luck tonight.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
New captain of the Brisbane Lions, Tom Rockcliffe. Ben Dixon having a chat to him as we just get set for the start of the game. Sydney in their final chat before. Let's just recap under what the rules we're playing tonight. We've got a 4-quarter game, and they're 4 20-minute quarters, where the first 15 minutes of the quarter no time on, and then the last 5 minutes of the quarter, normal time on situation as per the premiership season. Also, 18 players on the field as usual, 6 interchange players, 2 substitutes, but no interchange cap, so they can just go willy-nilly on the interchange bench if they like. A 9-point super goal continues, 4 field umpires, and there'll be no extra time.
One of the greatest I think factors in whether the Swans can go on and claim a premiership is the form of Sam Reid. A lot of pressure, but it's time that he accepted some pressure. He's a well-paid, highly talented kid who's had some important months, but never had some big seasons. He's going to get an opportunity forward, you suspect tonight, given that the 3 guns are out. But I think Lynchy, he needs to be the go-to man at centre half-back, or have that other option. Given that they've lost a couple of important players down there, they need to be able to fill the breach, and given that Richards is getting on in years, they're going to have some sort of backup plan, and he is it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with the idea. Getting the centre half-back, build some confidence, and you may swap him in between, but the thing is, he can get confidence playing at centre half-back where the pressure isn't on to actually mark the ball, turn around and kick it at goal.
He's going to line up forward, and that's a challenge in itself, given that he knows that he's probably being eyed for the centre half-back, because I'm not sure why the Swans just don't say, well, we're going to play him there anyway.
Well, I would suggest that they would if they were actually hell-bent on actually playing him as centre-half-back, but they moved him forward, so it must be their thoughts in the short term at least.
Set to go here in Coffs Harbour, and it's Pike up against Martin, and the bounce favours Pike. Plenty of players diving at it, and the first to get it is Beams. It's Dane Beams and his new club, driving Brisbane forward. Good run by Taylor, he was involved early. Got there front and square, goes back to Buick. Aish, now Rockcliffe. Just a ball magnet, Tom Rockcliffe. Alistair mentioned his stats, and here's McStay on a lead, promising movement forward, inside 50 for Brisbane.
Yeah, good to see young McStay starting at full forward. Obviously, there is a real void of big, powerful forwards, so there's some opportunities for the likes of Close and McStay to stay forward, and certainly we'll see the likes of Stephen Martin and Leuenberger up there as well.
So first shot for goal, McStay kicks it right on the 50, left boot. Going to get very close, nice hit. And the opening goal. 6 points play for McStay, and the Lions get the first.
Handy piece of play, and I'm not sure why people have got the downs on these young kids. The ball is going to come in there at 100 miles an hour, given the way they move the ball with run and carry. So I don't think it's going to be the Jonathan Brown push and shove type mark. And if this is any indication, This is going to give a lot of Lions fans a hell of a lot of reasons to buy memberships.
Yeah, and I think in that situation, the lighter bodies of the 20-year-old forwards can cope with that. It's getting into the middle of the season, late in the season, when the bailout kit's got to go long on top of, hopefully for Brisbane's sake, certainly a Stephen Martin. Have a look at this young man, how he stacks up. Above average power, his speed's probably a bit below average, but he really knows his football, moves well around the forward half or even back half. I think he's quite a player. Showed late last year in a number of different roles that he could play the game. You can see that the build on him is developing into a strong athlete.
It's a powerful midfield, the Lions. They're going to cause enormous troubles. They're going to beat some good sides this year.
Adcock comes in off the wing. Shaw, cut off by Gardner, not 15. He claims the mark. Here's the call, and the umpire will give him the benefit of the doubt. We'll throw it up.
Optimistic to suggest that was 15.
Yeah, it's about 8.
That's right. 7 to 8.
I think if you're not smart enough to work out 8 metres, that should have been a free kick against.
It's a prior opportunity for not being able to count.
And Zorko didn't get handed ball, so Sydney free kick for a throw. Back to Parker. What a season he had last year.
Super season, just really stepped it up. Went on to win the club Best and Fairest award. Averaged 27 disposals for the season. And that's a bit of a spill there for Sam Reid, and that's when you're moving forward, you want to grab those easier marks. But in saying that, it is difficult this time of the year for key forwards, but he'd like to take that one.
Well, everybody's entitled to have a nervous start, and that's his.
He's just played that one outside off.
That's right.
Pike gets it forward. Reid involved again. Clark gets it to it first. Now Reid's trying to worry him out of it. Good body strength. Clark got some help from Beams. That's Clay Beams. Now he hits the boundary. That's surely deliberate. Especially Jordan Bannister agrees.
Especially at this time of the year. They're going to be right onto that one. Clay Beams, joined by his brother, obviously. Clay Beams will be looking for some continuity with his body and training. Really struggled with injuries.
Well, horrible handball. Good forward pressure from the Sydney Swans, and you wouldn't believe it, Ben McGlynn's involved.
And the kick from Kennedy. Big Merritt with a double-handed punch. Mitch Robinson was looking for Taylor. Buick did well. Gardner and Taylor kept going.
This is where they're so dangerous. So many of their goals emanate from the run and carry off that half-back line.
And I think we've seen involved on a couple of occasions already the real barometers from last year. That was Zorko and Louis Taylor.
Steph Martin as well involved in that midfield. And there's a pretty solid bump, isn't it?
From the throw-in. Sydney in low. Zorko couldn't get clean possession again. Kennedy's thrown out. He'll take the free kick.
Interesting battle going on between Jed Adcock and Hanbury. They're playing about 5 metres wide of each other at the stoppages, on the inside in the corridor.
Here's Mitchell. Rowan going past. He's got speed. Can balance up. Pushes it into the forward pocket. Target was big Nankervis, but too wide the kick.
That's exactly what I wanted to see tonight, boys. Gary Rowan's playing the loose man in defence, and that run-off half-back, we mentioned the departure of Malcheski, but that's exactly what I want to see from Gary Rowan this year. Take the lines and break them from half-back. That's great. Important
year for the Swans and for Tom Mitchell, I think, Dicko. I reckon they were done for talent in the finish in the grand final, and they need to inject a touch more A-grade talent through that midfield, and he's the outstanding candidate.
Here's gave it away. Chance for Jack. He gives it over to Shaw. Into the pocket he goes. Here's Towers on a lead, and Towers takes the mark.
Got a bit of exposure last year. Didn't really take the game by the scruff of the neck, but you can just see what an athlete he is. He may even be a candidate to fill in down in defence if they get a bit short.
So he's going to have a shot. He'll kick from just inside the 50. We saw McStay get the distance at the other end. Towers looks pretty good as well. So he answers the call. So 1 kick each, 1 goal each, and scores level.
Good build-up and really great pass from Reece Shaw. A bit of composure just to identify the space, identify the lead, and just weighted the ball nicely out in front of Towers. And when you don't get a chance every week, you've got to take your chance, and certainly Dean Towers has flushed that one. Nice shot from outside 40.
Hell of a kick, isn't he?
Beautiful kick for goal.
He's coming into that stage too. He's a slow starter, obviously, but he's in that time of his life where if you're going to make it, the next year or two is going to be when he makes his mark.
Yeah, not unusual for for great sides like Sydney have been to just introduce 23, 24-year-olds.
Aish slipped it to Beams. That's Dane Beams. He goes forward. Green down low. Wants the free kick. Gets it.
That's against the
Against
Lions.
Green. They're out over here. No.
Clark. Advantage taken by Brisbane. Gardner's kick wide. Push. Free kick to Zorko. Umpire's pretty busy.
Well, for a pre-season game, Richie, I don't think there's been better conditions.
It is
absolutely
outstanding conditions. This ground is magnificent.
Long ground, isn't it? Very, very long and narrow. Kick from Beams goes up. Next day, didn't quite take that. It goes through.
And
the first behind.
Because of the warm conditions during the day, there will be a fair bit of sweat on the palms. You've got to get the flat hands to keep the ball in front. But we were saying pre-game, it's the sort of conditions you certainly be taking driver off the carpet. It is very nice surface.
Here's Mitchell getting it from Hanbury off the kick in.
Well, we know he's a ball magnet. The question is, can he play the defensive game the Swans are chasing and still get that 30 possessions?
Yeah, and be part of the structure from what you see from outside.
They'll give on the up from Zorko. Beams took them on, loses it. Here's Hiscox. Hanbury jumps up, down. Lester gets him. Robinson for Sydney. Zorko gives it to Robinson from Brisbane. Coming through Smith. Polished Smith. There's Mitch Robinson. That's what we're used to seeing for him in a Blues jumper, now in a Brisbane jumper. Only knows one way. Ball spills out the back. Leuenberger's on the ground now. Bird through. Redden. Won by Hanbury. Give on the up was a good one to McGlynn. Spills free to Hanbury. They keep running. Here's Sydney. Beautiful movement. Here's Hiscox. Ball doesn't come back to him.
Well, the chase.
Could have been a 9-pointer. Leuenberger worries him. Well, look, could have easily been a push. Leuenberger slaps it to a teammate. Needs some help. Sydney 2-on-4 here. Off the ground went Aish. Clay Beams. That's Robinson again. Cunningham gave it over to Bird. No one home for Sydney, though. Merritt.
He's probably got to hold it up and just go short because Sydney have covered the far wing.
Well, nothing clean about the game at the present time. There's a fair bit of inside work being done by both clubs, but they're maintaining the decision to handball 2 or 3 metres to blokes also inside, rather than having an exit handball that gets the game going.
Ben, you're at ground level.
Yeah, Matty, Mitch Robinson just coming off. I think he might have just received a corky. The physio is just going to assess him now. I'll keep you posted.
I don't think that's going to be an unusual sight. Mitch Robinson, he was last off the ground out of that pack. Comes off sore. It's an interesting kick. One of mine. Off the knee.
Leuenberger over the top. Taken by Zorko. Quick kick. Spirals it off the inside of the boot. Here's close. Started on the bench.
One-on-one deep.
And decides to switch it to Taylor. Knows how to find space, doesn't he?
Good running here.
Hard running from Green. Gets to the 50-metre line. The kick's out in front. Green's going to have to kick it quickly. Head to the top of the square. He straightens it up. Disciplined kick, but it's 2-on-1 Sydney. Ball down. Chance for Brisbane. Close. The hand was in there. Picked up by Rockcliffe. And Rockcliffe kicks a point. So Brisbane just out to that 2-point lead.
And Louis Taylor, he said, knows how to find space, got elite speed, and he came into last season without a pre-season, so he's actually had a full pre-season under his belt, so goes in cherry ripe after the NAB Rising Star Award last year.
Well, that worked well for Dan Hanbury, straight off the interchange bench, almost as if it was a tactic, Matthew.
Oh, this early in the year, Jared.
You got to rehearse those.
Robinson, that's holding the ball. That's Daniel Robinson up from the rookie list for the Swans. Jed Adcock.
Played a majority of last year down back and on the small forwards in the competition. That's a good mark from
Too strong, Grundy.
Reggie Grundy. And that's the one. That's where the young Lions forwards will be susceptible.
Through Jack, over to Mitchell, in turn Kennedy, and his kick is cut off. Not his best attempt. Brisbane on the turnover on the way out. Oh. Leicester, handball to no one.
We didn't want to use that left hand.
Jetta off the half-back line and onto the bench, and he's been replaced by Rowan. Interesting decision to trial Jetta across that half-back line. Dicko, what are your thoughts?
I like it. I like the speed because use of the ball is obviously pretty critical, but we know that Sydney are extremely hard to defend against. But when those guys can take the game on and carry with metres, that's when obviously the defending comes into it. So I like it, and I like the rotation. You can get a number of players through there, so it's not predictable.
Rockcliffe keeps it down low, well picked up by Leuenberger. Not a lot of room to move, though, for Dawson. Kick forward and wide and out of bounds on the full. Came from Birdies. Pushed it wide as Big Ben Hudson having a chat to his man McStay.
His second stint at the Brisbane Lions.
He has travelled a bit, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got
Big
around
Ben.
a bit and been a very handy addition. So look after the big men and the ruckman.
Only hear good things about him, don't you? For every club that he's been to, they all have really positive things to say about him. Free kick to the Lions. It's going to go to Taylor. Picked up where he left off from last year, the rising star.
I mentioned, boys, Mitch Robinson came off before. Cork to the left thigh. He's taped up back on the ground now.
Thanks, Ben. This is Mays for talent.
Where's he going to play, Sam Mays?
Sam Mays, I think wing, half-back, part of that rotation. Second year last year, probably a bit quieter. I think he's a really exciting player moving forward. I think he probably sits above the likes of Aish, can run and carry the ball.
Can he play high half forward?
Yeah, I think, well, they're probably going to have to do that. He's not bad size, actually, as well, but all around that midfield rotation, around the points of the square.
Short, Cunningham to Bird. 1 goal apiece, Lions by 2. They've got plenty of numbers back as Bird tries to find a gap. A little nudge there from...
Well, what he did find was a small on a big.
And really well isolated and picked out.
Taken by Robinson, snapped around the corner. Something from nothing, but it just manages to catch the post.
Absolute set play, wasn't it, to kick the ball to Josh Kennedy, who was on Louis Taylor. Just sit it up, just held him off. Really nicely done. Just a big off break here. Unlucky.
Daniel Merritt to full back to his the position that he made his own before injury, I suspect, suggested he had to go forward.
Well, I think, and the lack of key targets, with Browning out of the side at different times, they needed a target that they could kick the ball long to.
Is he happier in the back half?
I think he's very comfortable in the back half, and I think that's where he will stay. Normally they have magnets on the team sheet. I think it's just in print, full back.
From the clearance. Stay, just knocked it down in front. That's all he had to do. Now, advantage will be taken here. And Green releases Taylor. Now, he's got to wait.
He's got Adcock wide.
Adcock is going hard. Taylor might even decide to give it to Green. He does. Now, Green's got speed. If it sits for him, he'll try and take Bird on. Here he goes. And unselfishly finds a man at the top. And here's Dawson to have a shot at goal.
And that's why they are going to beat some good teams. Little mistake by the Swans, a scruffy tackle, and they were off. And they were running. And they're smart players that carry the ball. Lewis Taylor, he took a man on. It wasn't selfish. It was just releasing Green.
And even if that becomes a mistake, you don't mind that from a coaching point of view. Take the game on. This is their real asset, run and carry.
Liam Dawson. Academy player that Alistair mentioned, taking number 44 in the draft. Bit of a lazy leg, and he's hit the post.
Yep. Yeah, and he'll be looking forward to getting his hand on the ball. He's been quite a talented player in the local competition out of Aspley. I think Richmond were a bid to take him in round 2 of the draft, so that forced the Lions to go at 44.
We should get the video, have a look at it. His weight goes back.
Oh, back, wasn't it?
Yep. You'll learn from that one. Long ball out. Big leap up there from Parker. Ball down at ground level.
Sam Reid has hurt himself as he launched for that ball. I reckon right ankle. Yeah. He's collapsed before he actually hit the pack.
Chance of Brisbane again. Taylor got a call out the back from Buick, his left footer. He comes back inside. Martin will get support from Paparone. Reid still checking that ankle on the outer side as the kick goes in long. No tall forwards there. That's a free kick. Yeah. It's a solid tackle on Aish.
Just see there down the bottom of the screen, Sam Reid is going to slowly try to get off the ground, but as he tried to launch, his right ankle buckled.
Didn't get his timing right, did he?
But it gave way, collapsed.
And Ben, you've been keeping an eye on Mitch Robinson as well?
Well, he did come off, Matty, took the strapping off, looked uncomfortable, a couple of painkillers, and he's actually back out on the ground as we speak.
And there's Dane Rampy. Did really well coming off his man to affect the spoil and a couple of sloppy tackles.
Well, we saw Dawson miss a set shot. This one a little bit further out, but Aish should finish it. 6 goals in his 21 matches in his debut season last year. Said he should kick it. He's kicked it in the same spot. So Brisbane have let Sydney off the hook a little bit here.
He still should kick it, actually. And this was a similar problem they had last week. They actually belted St Kilda in inside 50s, but missed a lot of shots. Turnover here. Another chance.
This time it's Green who gets it from Aish. He goes around the corner. It's very high, right to the line. Goal umpire's in good position. I think he's kicked it and he has. Well, they couldn't kick a set shot. They've got to go around the corner to do it. We are in Coffs Harbour, home of the Big Banana.
I was wondering how and when. And there
Only a matter of time.
It should have gone in early in the intro, but we left it for you nicely, Matt.
Here's a turnover. John Blake would be very disappointed with that. Short into the corridor and paid the 6-point price. But probably the major issue here is actually all around Sam Reid and that ankle that's given way there. And Ben Dixon, any update on Reid?
Oh, we know it's obviously the right ankle there, Lynchy. He did look like he was proppy, but as he came to the bench, as you know, with the ankles there, they can come good, but I don't think it's likely here at the moment, so they're going to probably strap it up a little bit more and see how he goes.
Well, what has happened there, he's actually rolled his ankle outside on Darcy Gardner's foot. So, yeah, strap that up and hopefully he'll be fine.
Lions win the clearance. Coming through hard and aggressive was Laidler, Parker, Jeddah. Accelerates away and drills it low. Beautiful kick, and Curvis misses it.
Well, that's why they want Jeddah across the half-back line. What he's got to prove to John Longmire is if he can chase and he can defend like he expects everyone to in the back half.
Just saw Mitch Robinson attack that contest like a missile again. Gets up limping.
And that's the point I'm making. That was Jeddah's man, and he's just zoned off him 4 or 5 metres, and they're exposing him at the moment.
Here's the turnover, though, for Sydney. The handball from Jeddah. Well, Leicester looked at McGlynn, didn't look at the footy. Bit of a don't argue from Paparone to Redden. On the left, turns it back from where it just came from. Dawson up, down. Taken by Close. Now Aish.
No one back.
It's just a territory kick.
Yeah, just trying to find and wait. Yep. Shaw, first back for Sydney. Sydney's ball advantage probably be paid here. It is. Hiscox. Run to Hiscox again.
We know he can run.
Yeah, former national 800-metre champion, and was very impressive last week on the wing in their trial match.
It's Richards, Xavier Richards, and he's turned that over under no pressure whatsoever.
That was off the toe. Just didn't flush that one.
Zorko trying to find his target. Does. McStay.
A fair bit of this game is getting played in Brisbane's forward half at the present time. They're working a bit harder than the Swans.
So we'll see what McStay can do. Again, he's outside 50. Kick the first one. It's right to the line. He's got the distance again.
Great.
He goes all right, McStay. That's 2 goals, almost identical from set shots. Brisbane get their 3rd, and they're out to a nice little comfortable lead now. They lead by 15 points. I wonder how the Sydney Swans coach, the real one, is feeling at the moment. John Longmire's with Ben Dixon.
Thanks, Matty. John, you're not in the chair tonight. You've handed the reins. Johnny Blakey, how's he handling it so far?
Oh, right, so far he'd be hoping we're in front of quarter time, but look, he's a really experienced coach, Johnny. He's been around for a long time and been on our coaching panel for a long time, so he knows what he's doing.
We looked at your departure list, heavy on games and experience, but the beauty of the NAB Challenge, your first hit out, Isaac Heaney and obviously Hiscock, it's great to roll them out, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good to see some of those young kids get an opportunity, and you know, I'm sure they really enjoy it, but you know, it's only very early days for them. They'll make some mistakes, but we can't get too worried about that.
And we just saw Sam Reid come off with looks like a right ankle. Any update?
No, just getting assessed by a doctor right now, so we'll know a bit more at quarter time.
Thanks, John.
No worries, mate.
So Brisbane by 15. They're going backwards here, the Swans, but they've maintained possession. Laidler on his left boot gets plenty on it. In fact, probably too much. Clark held the arm and he went for it with the other one, so he gets the free kick against Mitchell.
Good player, coming off the rookie list over the last couple of years. 6'5", and really cemented a spot down back.
Nice play.
Rockcliffe, low ball to Redden. Got hands to it. Taylor didn't take it. Jeddah now for Sydney. Ball spills out underneath towards Smith. Off the ground went Adcock and gets fair bit on it. Close was playing in front. He's rewarded. Not sure where to go from here. Staker or Zorko.
Well, it's good defence in the finish and probably an opportunity to extend the hands and drag a free kick there from Staker, looking for the chest mark.
Yeah, good closing speed from Laidler to get the fist in there. He would be a huge bonus, Staker, if he could stand up in the forward 50 for a majority of the season.
Might be the third and final update on Mitch Robinson, boys. He's actually got the ice pack on the left side right now.
Kick from Zorko across the face just to behind, so we may not see a bit of Mitch Robinson anymore this evening. 8 scoring shots to 2 tells the story.
Well, having a hell of a time
on the way out.
Getting the ball outside, forward 50. This time it's taken a pretty handy mark from Grundy.
Yeah, had to rely on some brilliance then. There's Mitch Robinson.
Oh, he's turned it over as well.
Just getting that left quad strapped, and he'll probably be back on again. Nothing unusual across those 100 games with Carlton. Was injured a fair bit, although the ice is going on, so that might be it.
Ball over the back from the boundary throw-in.
Brandon Jack's the key forward for the Swans at the moment. He's up against 2 players. He's got a big job.
Massive task.
Oh, there's a man on his own in the middle, though. McGlynn dropped it, then just got his hands to it. Jeddah, away go the Swans to the outer side. First to it will be Rowan. With some time, Rich just stayed off him.
Great running from Kieran Jack to go from one end of the ground to the other to give an option in the goal square, but they just didn't get it free. Good defence from the Lions.
And got torched, and this is where the Lions can rebound quickly here.
Green wants to slow it. Now, we heard that from Tom Rockcliffe. That he said that they played a bit fast last week on the way out. So just the tempo there slowed it down.
Might be looking at the clock as well, which is 30 seconds of play remaining.
Grundy up. Over the boundary line, that'll go. It's only the 24 seconds remaining.
So Jack Redden there, another player that struggled towards the end of the season with injury. So good to see him back in the side, fully fit.
There is Redden trying to poke it through. Heaney, very quick give over to Towers. Maybe a chance for the Swans late in the quarter because they've got a loose man. Mitchell over the top to Rowan. This is the kick with 10 seconds remaining for quarter time. Can he find his man? He can't. Over the back of Merritt. McGlynn, so good in front of goal, tumbles it forward. And Garner has to be a little bit careful with that sort of ball towards the boundary, but manages to go over the line. Mitch Robinson has his thigh iced in the first quarter, but I think the Brisbane Lions team would be pretty happy. They lead 3-5 to 1-1. It's a 16-point lead here at Coffs Harbour, and we've certainly enjoyed coming up here this afternoon. Wonderful part of Australia. There you have the coast, great surf, good beach culture. Beautiful night here at Coffs Harbour. Back with the second quarter after this. Full moon here at Coffs Harbour, and certainly the Brisbane Lions are enjoying being out at night because they've got a fairly handy lead at quarter time. Beautiful night for football. The surface is sensational. Nice big ground. Lions up by 16 points. McStay, impressive. 2 set shots of goal from around the 50-metre line, both straight through. Zorko, Beams and Aish. Midfielders getting plenty of the ball. Parker, 8 possessions for Sydney. Time in the forward half, Jared. As you said during the call, mainly Brisbane, and they're winning contested possession.
Well, I think they're playing a little bit a better brand of footy at the present time. They're certainly in much closer to fourth gear than the Sydney Swans are, Lynchy. And I think what we're seeing from the Brisbane Lions is they're going to invent most of their goals, I think, for most of the season. It's a run and carry scenario. It's a lot of chaos in that forward line, but they've got smart players involved in the chaos, and they think it through, they work it through as they go. Sydney Swans at the other end of the ground, well, they just have got a foreign legion down in that forward line, so we're not sure what's going to happen.
Well, the Sydney Swans have never been pre-season specialists, have they? They sort of really take it easy to start with, but exciting for the Brisbane Lions. The likes of Taylor, Buick, Zorko and Beams involved.
Let's see how they're feeling in the Lions camp. Ben is with Gary O'Donnell, assistant coach.
Thanks, Matty. Gary, last week you obviously worked on a bit of tempo because the play was too fast, but here it's obviously showed on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and they set the scene early, didn't they? Rockcliffe, I think it was Ritchie and Roe Buick. They sort of held the ball for a little while, but there's times where you've got to go quick as well, so it's been a good balance.
We reported Mitch Robinson on and off with a cork. Is he out for the game now?
It looks that way. We'll see how he goes in the next 10 or 15 minutes, but yeah, it doesn't look that flash at the moment.
Thanks, Gary.
See you.
still, there was a look at Mitch after that collision.
And that was his second attack. He just went like a missile over the top. But I think he'll be a huge asset for this midfield. That hard attack at the ball just has opposition teams just having a look around a bit.
Second quarter underway here at Coffs, and it's Leuenberger on the right this time, but stolen by Kennedy twice.
Smart from Kennedy, in and out.
Yep.
Reed's back on, boys.
Reed out there, and the ball bounces over his head. Thanks, Ben. Chance for the Swans. Brandon Jack just lost his footing. Plenty of time for Nankervis. Drills it through the middle. Kennedy found himself in a little bit of space. Gave it off to Hanbury. In turn to Jack. The three premier midfielders for Sydney getting involved there. And when that happens, you usually get a goal.
Well, it was a dangerous kick going inside. Didn't hit the target, but Kennedy, again, was the quality that made it all happen. Jack was the finisher.
Yeah, how often do you see that when the Sydney Swans are challenged? Their class get involved, and this man on the left slipper just has drilled that one through. Beautiful kick, and I think John Blakey and John Longmire will be much happier with that start. Only 30 seconds in, but their attack at the ball and delivery was A1.
Just needed Parker involved there. Would have had all four, didn't we? It was perfect. Quick start from the Swans, just the 30 seconds, and they get the margin back to 10. Do you order a taxi, Yellowstone?
No, I'm not sure what that was.
No, not sure what that was. Here we go, Leuenberger. This time going through fast and hard was Dane Beams. Up and under he goes. Ball bounces. Might suit Dawson here. He missed the set shot. Could this be the quick answer for Brisbane? It is. Well, we played 45 seconds, 2 goals, 1 at each end, and Dawson gets his first goal for the Lions. Look at the support he's getting from his players after missing that set shot.
They're pretty happy with him. And what about the attack at the ball from Dane Beams through the middle here?
Here it is.
This is attack at the ball. He gets involved to start with and comes through very quick. So that's what you want from your midfielders. And then a great snap from Liam Dawson. And that's the... I mean, it's a nice snap around the body, but there's not as much pressure on that shot than the set shot dead in front. So Dawson will be very happy to get one on the board.
Midfield coach of the Swans will be absolutely wrapped with that. He's now got a copy of what not to do. That's not the way they play, allowing somebody just to barge through 2 sweepers and set up a goal.
Have a look at his numbers out of the NEFL competition, and he averages some good high numbers through the midfield.
Tack up.
He's a talent, there's no doubt about that. We're going to see more of him. Here they go again. This running power is superb. They're up and about the Lions.
Green, the man in question again, Dawson, gets onto his right. Top of the square, disciplined kick. Well, it might have been a free kick. It wasn't. Heaney to clear for Sydney. A bit too much on the kick. Buick overran it. Cunningham doesn't. Kieran Jack, nice step.
Great step.
There was it. He just confused them.
Got players out the back now if they go quickly.
Oh, just touched off the boot. Rowan's kick. And it's a let-off there for Brisbane.
You got it that side?
Fierce attack on the ball by the Swans defenders. Let's have a look if you think this was a free kick, Lynchy.
No, I don't think so in the end.
Play on.
Sure got a fair bit of the ball. From the throw-in. Forced forward by Brisbane now. Beams. Heaney just pushed him away. Dawson slapped it out wider. Kennedy so strong in this situation. Won it. Gave it off to Cunningham, in turn Parker. Up and under from him. Rich stood and waited and plays on. We know what his leg's like. It's long and it's dangerous. And he kicks it in low. Staker was the target. The spoil came. First to it, maybe Parker. But both Parker and Beams happy to see it over the line.
It's a bit of a trap for the Lions. When Daniel Rich gets the ball, everybody knows he's capable of kicking a 65 going at less than 2 metres off the ground. But you still need forwards to lead up the ground to create the space for the bloke he finally picks out and selects. He may want to drop it short just to keep people confused.
And I think that's the change up that Daniel Rich has got to get to as well. Pull that kick as well, because it is a very predictable, albeit very good long kick.
Risky switch from Cunningham, but numbers should win out for Sydney. They do. Towers. Back to the run of Rampy, who gave it to him in the first place. Floats it forward. Tough one to mark. Mays kept it in front of himself. Coming through Hanbury. Got it free. Got it over to McGlynn. Choice at 2 in the middle of the ground. And there's a free kick coming back to Hanbury. Back to McGlynn, I should say. Too far out to kick a goal. McGlynn.
Gary Rowan doing a fair bit of work
That's
pushing
a good
forward.
kick.
Well, we heard the umpire was touched, so whistle was blown incorrectly. So we'll have a...
It was touched.
Yep.
But
Man on the mark.
it was only just touched. I mean, they normally just get let go.
Well, the other controlling umpire did say touched. Just didn't quite hear it. And yeah, I thought there might have been a free kick there. Sydney, first man in was Heaney, and he wins the free kick for being first at it.
Well, Ross Lyon declared the saddle was back at about round 8. Looks like it's out early in the piece in the NAB challenge because Jeff definitely jumped on top of him.
There's so many huge raps on this young man. We'll just see what he's like from about 53, 54 metres.
I watched him in the warm-up from his set shots. Beautiful leg.
Yeah.
The follow-through, I'll probably put the Mozza on him here, but
yeah,
the follow-through's quite straight. Watch this, the right leg through.
Yeah, big pull left.
He pulled it
well
left.
Done, Matty.
Thanks, Isaac. Yeah.
Young man from Newcastle. Great to see him with the Sydney Swans jumper on. Moved down last year to be a part of the Sydney Swans Academy.
First ever player drafted out of Newcastle, being predominantly rugby league town.
Okay, yeah, that's a big win. I think most young kids up there have followed the Newcastle Knights.
They're about the same height, but they're probably 10 kilos heavier.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, that's dangerous kick into the middle. Zorko straight through his hands. McStay trying to grab it. Grundy with him. Kieran Jack. Got the call out the back from Jeddah, but he's worried out of it by Adcock. Over to Clay Beams. Now Paparone just in time gets his kick. Robinson got in front.
Great
Zorko
roving.
went front and square. Disciplined play, but then just couldn't get it clear. Handball out towards... Now that's the sub's been made there, so McGrath's on. So he's one of the two subs. That's the sub he would have come on for Robinson.
Yeah, he's got the vest on, Robinson.
Yep. And a little bit untidy there from Brisbane. Jack to clean it up from Sydney. Mitchell, Heaney off the left. Ball to be won here. Kennedy, and he's worried over it by Adcock.
There he is. Mitch Robinson. Big corky on the left quad. Jaden McGrath in for his first taste of AFL football.
From the throw-in. Scooped out the back. Numbers will favour Brisbane here, and Merritt goes back as a loose man to take an easy chest mark. Not a lot of options to his left. That's closed down by Sydney, so he just chips it into the middle to Leicester.
Well, it's a bit just like Chinese checkers at the moment, both sides. Daniel Merritt just set it up pretty well. And they're happy to play this tempo footy that they warned us about prior to. Much rather them go quick. Much better spectacle for mine, Lynchy, but coaches don't care about that.
And I think their best way to actually score is go quick. Obviously, conceding scores may also get that way if you just continually rush the forward 50.
Rockcliffe getting involved 3 times there, and that's a kick to a 1-on-3 there, so if you're going to slow it down, if you're going to kick to 1-on-3, it defeats the purpose.
Going to slow it down, you better make sure you pick the right option, and that one wasn't it.
1 metre, thanks guys.
From the throw-in, it's Martin up against Pike. Stephen Martin winning the knock. Zorko's been busy. Didn't get all the way properly there. Kennedy. Hiscock's involved, so too Cunningham. Ball through the legs, back out toward Hiscock's. Off the ground by Zorko, gets plenty of distance with that. First back will be Rampy for Sydney.
Good running.
On the back pedal, thought about Shaw. Decides to play the percentage down the line towards the boundary. Parker too strong in front of Adcock. Wants to move it quickly. Into the middle he goes. Mitchell.
Well, Jack's worked hard. Missed him.
Hiscock's. Big switch. Smith. And the smother came from Green.
Well, this fella go.
He can run a bit, can't he? Hiscock's. Ball to be won. Well trapped by Rowan. Still going was Brandon Jack. He might get a second chance here. He beats Beams. Ball still there for Sydney to win. 40 metres out from their goal. 3-on-1. The ball comes out now. Strong body needed. Kennedy's got one. And he wins a free kick.
Kick there.
So many players still just handball into blokes under pressure. Lynchy, I know it's early days, but the release handball so much more constructive than the one keeps your man under pressure. Brandon Jack there was lucky to get away with one.
Yep. Now, we know we get what we get from Josh Kennedy, but we saw Hiscox involved on a couple of occasions in that chain. Very impressive.
6-point play. He was maybe thinking about someone to go past for 9 points, but he now has a set shot, and that's exactly what's ahead of him. It stays out right. There's never a chance.
Well, no wind to worry about. It's been a pretty windy start to the NAB Challenge, Dicko, but tonight it's perfect.
Outstanding conditions, but it is greasy. You mentioned Lynchy, obviously with the heat during the day. A little bit slippery, but Sydney's contested ball plus 15 differential because, I mean, they are handballing under pressure, but it's just this quarter, plus 15. And we mentioned in the opener, boys, about Stefan Martin and Leuenberger, obviously that change forward. They haven't done it tonight, obviously, with the greasy conditions. Brisbane just playing the one tall in Staker predominantly and some smalls.
That's a good contest between Close and Heaney. Let's just hope that Close only hit the ball there and not Heaney.
And you can probably rotate your ruckman off the interchange bench when you've got the expanded interchange. You see here.
Oh, yeah.
Just,
collected an ear on the way through.
Looking for a points decision.
And just finding the line there.
No easy goals at the moment. We started off with two quick successive goals. And now it's just a wrestle. The scrum's back. Early in the piece.
Scrum's back. Well, won by Martin. Beautifully picked up by Towers. Got it onto his boot very quickly indeed, into the pocket. Might make something from nothing here, Richards, and they do.
Oh, look
Kept
out.
it alive. There's the banana. Oh, we wanted the big banana goal, but it wasn't there from Jeddah.
It was a big banana from 35, but never looked a chance, really. There it is. Just always narrow.
Just pressing a bit here, Swans, aren't they?
Yeah, lifted the intensity.
Well, they've got to stop this ball getting out. This is where the Sydney Swans traditionally very strong.
I reckon they've been helped too by Brisbane slowing the game down.
Yeah.
Tap forward. McGrath beaten to it.
It's good stuff from
Strong
Parker.
tap from Parker.
Setting the example.
Yep.
Do you think Brisbane, Jared, have got the gears this year to be able to control the tempo, read the play a bit more? We know, obviously, the players and debutants they had last year with the number of games played. You think that's something they can obviously introduce?
I think they need to work on it and have it as part of their repertoire, because we know that it can save you games and win you some games if you're in those positions. But I think their number one asset is the run and the gun. And you'd hate to see them lose that if they get the balance wrong. But quite clearly off. Sometimes you just correct a little bit too far until you find the right method.
Parker working hard again. Zorko over the top of him. Mitchell did well, and then off the outside of the boot gets some distance. Dropped by Clark. Shoulders, arms, then put the ball down on the ground. Taken by Beams. Clever handball to Rockcliffe. In turn releases Rich. He's got a runner here. Beams again. Of the brother kind.
Just widening up the ground, which
now
allows
Rich,
the corridor to be free.
Almost within 9 points. He just had to pull the kick right at the last minute. Right to the square. Good strong mark in defence.
We just needed another 2 or 3 metres to get the next step into the launch.
Once again, though, they're not coming at him. They haven't got the big bodies to take the pack mark, so they've got to make some space.
Yeah, so your earlier point, lead at the ball carrier so the space is opened up behind.
On the way back, City looking good here. High ball for Jack. Just dropped it, though. Took it a bit easy. Merritt worries him out of it. Dane Beams to Lester. Back to Clay Beams.
Good play. They went wide of the contest and then hit up the foot target.
Mays. To a contest.
Push out.
Just push out. Didn't have a chance to go at it close. So he's going to mark. It's a 6-point shot from just inside the forward 50. We've seen McStay kick 2 beautiful set shot goals. Chance here for Close.
That's 15 gone.
Perfect conditions. You think he'd get the journey. He certainly hasn't considered giving it off.
He's taking his time.
Time's up now, but he's on the way through. 52 metres out. Doesn't really get a lot of momentum through the ball.
Great defence from
Grundy. Yeah, oh, that kick didn't get there. Still alive, still a chance for the Lions. Staker spinning, got boot to ball, did enough. Mays, quick snap from him to the line. Contest coming. And over the line it goes for A behind.
That
Lions lead by 14.
That close kick was that short. It looked like a pulled set shot to the top of the goal square. So he felt that it was probably just out of his range.
Yep.
So tried to give everyone the impression he was going to have a ping, but just pulled it 15 out.
Measured pass to Hanbury on the way out for Sydney. He wants to move it quickly. Spoil came from Beams, played Beams, read by Lester. Rockcliffe goes back to Merritt, and he's got Paparone to his left on this side, and Paparone, bit of time. And in turn, he uses Gardner. Short one to Martin as an option.
What a season he had last year, Lynchy.
Oh, absolutely. He was the last man standing round 12 when he debuted in 2014. They gave him a game because they had nothing else, and he dominated from that week on. Fair to say. There was no way he was going to get a contract after the end of season 2014, but now he's very deservedly signed a 2-year deal.
All-Australian ruckman was decided between round 8 and 23.
Oh, he's got the first 2 spots.
Short list.
Chance here for Brisbane. They got a man loose. Mays can't spot him. Now it's closed down by the Swans. Mays heads to the top of the square. Close his target. Over the back it goes. Crummer needed. Parker wrapped up by Close.
Gee.
It comes out to McGrath, and the sub
knows.
does all right. He knows where they are. Jade McGrath. It's a pretty clever handball just that got shot out there. I think it might have been from Lester. I'm not sure. We'll go back and have a look at that. It was a handball that just found McGrath. He hooked it around the corner.
Yeah, classy light player, as I said before, from Kerrang in country Victoria. And he's got some class about him, knows where the goals are. You see this ball spill out. Josh Green goes over it to start
Lester.
with.
Yeah.
And then Lester, and that is a really nice snap.
They're on the rack here a little bit, the Swans. There's just 5 minutes of play remaining. They look as if they're looking for the siren, but here's the profile of the young bloke.
Yeah, above average speed, which is really good, and that agility, that ability to get into space. And if he gets to the stage of the class of the very best of Garlett, he'll be right up there. Garlett obviously transferred away from the Blues over to the Demons this year.
So the Lions back out to that 20-point lead now, led by 16 at quarter time. So taking the lead for this quarter. They've won a free kick here. Under that is Buick.
And Leuenberger into the ruck. It's a pretty handy double act if they can maintain both their athleticism. Wouldn't be surprised to see Steph Martin and Leuenberg in the ruck and the ruck roving positions at the one time for some passages through the quarters.
Grundy got up high. Aish wins the crumb. McStay went without it. Parker to tidy up for Sydney. Jeddah on the way out.
Nice
Spots
release
Heaney.
kick.
Just a little untidy there, Heaney, but can he recover? Got it enough, did well enough to get it to McGlynn. Around the corner he goes. 2-on-2 situation here. Beats everybody. Chance here for Hiscox. Gets support. Cuts back through the middle. Good speed. Jack. Cut off by Justin Clark. Rich. Burrows through and got it out to Lester. Quick release by him to Aish. And the Lions stand firm in defence. Gardner wants it down the line. Jeddah read it better than Zorko. That's not Zorko's go to use the body like that.
Well, we saw the best and the limitation of young Hiscox there. He ran well, he cut inside, and then a left-hand handball just looked as if he didn't quite have it in his weaponry to release his teammate. So he's got some work to do on some skills and obviously his overall knowledge of the game. But he attacked the ball hard, and he looks a player.
Advantage taken by Hanbury. Not a good kick from him.
And they're outnumbered 4-2 down back. So you think Clay Beams is obviously going to slow it down, but it has to go laterally where they've got the extra player back.
And that extra man out there is Merritt, who gets it from Gardner. Thinks about Buick, uses him. The tempo again from Brisbane.
I think Buick's been impressive. The last half of last season and through the pre-season, I think he's really worked his work rate. His professionalism has gone to a new level.
Beams off a fumble. Onto the left he goes. Over the back it comes. Kick. Sydney have made a change as well. We'll just confirm that for you shortly.
Trouble gone.
Trouble gone.
Looked around, no one in support. Tried to dance out of it. Most people now too proficient at tackling to even take it on.
And again, Clay Beams. returned from his 2013 ACL. His attack of the ball and his attack at the opponent has been very good in this first half of tonight's game.
Milliken was on, just trying to work out the subs. Did Ben, have you got the sub?
I think it's Sam Reid, boys. I'm just trying to confirm that now.
Okay, so Reid off, Milliken on, and this is Green. Little Josh Green. Likes to be on the move when he has a shot, and that's what he does. He gives himself some space, gets himself moving, bangs it through for another goal. He's got 2. Brisbane lead by 26 points. It's a pretty healthy lead now.
It is another one of the mosquito fleet from last year, the real barometers of last season's successful games for the Brisbane Footy Club. He kicked 33 goals from his 20 games and is a dangerous forward. I mean, he'd like to get his fitness to a level where he can go through the midfield, but I think Zorko and Green are going to be very dangerous in the forward half, even if they don't spend much time through the midfield this year.
Zorko, Green and Taylor.
Yep.
I reckon if I was Justin Leppich and he came and sat me down and said, Coach, I want to play through the middle, I'd keep nodding and encourage him to try and keep up getting your fitness and then just leave him in the half-forward line.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Just put the cheese in front.
There you have it. Sam Reid being subbed out of the game.
So a couple of concerns for both teams. Robinson and Reid out before half-time.
Clearly nothing serious, though. I mean, Reid's is a 1 or a 2-week ankle you'd expect. And
Robinson probably the same with the corky.
Robinson gets a rest.
Heaney through. Redden over the top, and it's a free kick to Towers under that.
Yeah, they haven't been able to, sort of lower the kick and hit targets. They're kicking long to where they're outnumbered.
Chance here, though, for Brandon Jack. He runs onto it, throws it onto the boot, and that's the way they get their goals. Quick answer from Sydney. Brandon Jack, the goal kicker, and a much-needed one inside 2 minutes before half-time.
Well, it's about their only option at the moment. It's just getting in there and see what happens.
Well, they've just got to get it to the ground, don't they? Because they've been outnumbered and Brisbane have been able to rebound. Now, see, Beams on this occasion just spilt the mark, which allowed Jack to get involved. And different to earlier in the game, he was able to make the most of that opportunity where a few of his teammates have sprayed the ball a bit.
So it keeps them in touch, 20 points behind with 100 seconds or so to go. They can snag another one.
Yeah, it keeps them in touch, but there's been nothing convincing about the Swans at all.
No, it looks as if they're building up to next week's practice game at the moment. That may change after half-time. I mean, John Blakey has a decision to make, whether he has a cook early or whether he just goes through the process.
Kick forward by Rich. Close. Gave it to Martin. You were talking about Martin before, and he's hit the post.
Once again, a nice, easy exit out of the midfield, which the Swans won't be all that pleased about.
Steph Martin had a very good season last year. Not sure he had a good day at the Barbers.
That's a bit rude, do you think?
Well, no, that's probably... It's not us. It's not our age group.
Very much in fashion at the moment.
Why wouldn't he?
Good jump. Oh, he made a meal of it in the end because he had it close. Laidler back to Rampy. Couldn't switch it. Down the line he goes. Very wide. Gardner, and out of bounds on the full before Gardner got there. So Brisbane's kick. So they've got a minute to find the goals. But Sydney have got all their numbers back here.
You'd reckon they try and just waste enough time to leave one more shot left in the gun.
Yeah. Well, the switch is closed down by Sydney, so in the end, they may turn it over here, Brisbane, and just over the line it goes. So a bit of a nothing play after all that.
What's John Blakey do? Lynchy, he's not the senior coach. He knows that the effort it's about 4 out of 10 from the Swans at the present time. They're not obviously concerned about the result. We all know that.
He's probably going to actually turn around and spray the assistant coaches, give them a rev up. What are you blokes doing?
Give me something.
I've had one chance, and you're destroying me. But no, I think he'll look at it's effort related for the Sydney Swans. They've been outworked at the moment. The pace at ground level through the midfield for Brisbane has been far superior to the midfielders of the Sydney Swans.
Rockcliffe got it forward. Stay sort of let it bounce. Shaw, handball out the back. It's a pretty good one in the end.
It was.
Yep. And Grundy straightens it up. Jack.
Experienced player's handball. He knew he was gone, but he knew where the man was for the bail. That's a good attacking kick.
Well, Gary Rowan's north of the ball here. If he goes, wasn't able to get it to him.
They've got time here. Towers in the box seat. Leicester did all right to get in front. Sydney have a crummer. Back towards Towers. Brisbane might just tidy up here. Merritt by hand. Leicester will be forced to kick wide. He does so. He found his man in McGrath, who kicked a goal in that second quarter. In fact, Brisbane kicked 3 goals, Sydney 2. So they extend their lead. They're led by 16 points at quarter time. They're out to a 21-point lead at half-time. Sam Reid's on the bench. So is Mitch Robinson. The Lions feeling pretty comfortable here in Coffs Harbour. We'll take a break. Jared and Alistair to look at the first half when we return.